It's an Infinity Game Changer.
Hi and welcome to this week's Infinity Game Changer. Remember, these podcasts exist to motivate, assist and inspire business owners to achieve more than they ever thought possible.
So this week I'm going to ask you about focus slots. Because I hear you talk about focus slots a lot.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
These 90 minute little miracles. So what are focus slots?
So focus slots are self-appointments with a business owner for them to work on their business, not in their business. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay, so self-appointment. So you're booking time with yourself.
With yourself.
And that's blocked out.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Diary. Yeah, to work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah, but, okay. But they're always in their business. They're always around it. If you're I don't know if you're a butcher, you're always hanging around it. You're always doing the do.
Yeah, that's it. You're always doing the do. So a focus slot is in my diary at. I'm an early riser, so a focus slot goes in my diary at 4:30 a.m. and I'm in my diary from 4:30 till 6, and it's an appointment with myself. Now, that could be any time of day. Doesn't have to be outside of business hours. It can be any time of day where you make an appointment with yourself. Therefore, you are free from doing the do of the daily business, where you can work on the business, not in the business.
Do you perform? How far it morning?
It's my best time of day.
I'll see when you said it. I thought,
No, it's my best time of day. I'm creative in the morning. But the key thing is it can't be a daily operational thing that you are doing in a focus slot. Let me give you an example.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got a garage owner and he has 3 stations or 3 pits in his garage, and from 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock he's on one of them pits and he's fixing cars. Okay. But every slot in his diary is full, so he's at capacity, so he can't do anymore. Okay, but he's working in the business fixing cars. He's not working on the business strategically to move it to its next level. So there's a difference between working in the business, a florist making bunches of flowers that are going out to be delivered, in the business, a baker in early morning making bread, in the business. But if you've got a focus slot in your diary where you are out of the day-to-day, effectively you're becoming a marketeer of your business rather than a doer of its thing. So they are strategic focus slots aimed at growth, or moving your business to its next level, or creating better marketing. You are working on the business, not in the business. And most business owners don't do that.
So say someone's driving. Could you use that as a focus slot?
Yeah. My focus slots, I go for an hour and a half's walk.
Okay. So it's just
thinking time. I use my focus slots as thinking time, but some of the people that we work with and coach, they use their focus slots to focus on the wording for a new website. Or they may have a green and white shop front, but their website is blue and yellow, and the adverts that they run are red. There's no branding going on. So a focus slot would encourage them to, let's have a look at your branding. So sometimes you need to be sat in front of a computer or at your desk to do it, but there need to be times when you're not working in the business, you're working on a thing to improve it, systemizing it, or working to purchase your next unit, or upskilling some of your staff, so building training. So you're improving how the business operates, not working as a doer of its thing.
And that you just had examples then. So this is a specific thing. So you say Thursday 6:30. What's our new site going to look like? How do I improve our site?
100%. You can't go into well, you can, but it's not productive. So my focus slots are planned, maybe not a week, but definitely 5 days in advance. Because without knowing it, I'm thinking about that. while you're driving. As you just said, I do a lot of driving. I cover 800 miles a week on average. So I'm driving for a lot of the time. And although you concentrate on your driving, of course you do, you think about things. And I think about a focus slot that may be booked in for Wednesday. And I'll be working on the wording for the website. So it's just playing around in my mind. So when I go into that focus slot and I sit down, I'm not really starting from scratch. It's been bouncing around in my mind for 2 or 3 days. So now when I sit down, super productive, focused, focus slot. But they are important. What's important is there have to be things to move the business forward, not things to do with the day-to-day operation. So it's not planning your delivery routes if you're a florist. No, that's not improving how the business works. That's not its next strategic move. A focus slot is on improving the business itself.
Okay, and growth is the
growth.
Yeah,
growth is one. How are we going to move to our next level? How are we going to have our website create more business? All sorts of things. What's our branding going to look like? A big thing for me last year, focus slots, it used 4 of them. So that's quite a lot of work. That was 6 hours work went into. I want all of the staff in my business to be in uniform. I didn't want them turning up in jeans and t-shirts when they're at work. And that sounds quite easy if you think, well, I've got a shop and 4 people. But we have 300 people all around the country. So how did we orchestrate that? What needed to happen? Who was going to deliver? Who was going to get all the sizes? Who was going to check everything was right? So it took 4 focus slots for my business. But in 4 focus slots, I moved 300 people into uniform. That's huge. But I thought about it for a week before. It was bouncing around in my mind. And it happened in 4 focus slot done.
So a few bits to help someone who's listening to this and goes, I need that. I'm so busy my day to day. Again, garage owner, 9 till 6 p.m. he's doing that. A couple of bits of help and go, right, okay, here's some advice I'd give you on this.
First thing is this sentence important when you're thinking about focus slots, because it will keep you on it. If nothing changes, nothing will change. So you need to look at your diary and think, well, if I don't change that, nothing's going to change in my business, because tomorrow will be the same as today, and next month will be the same as this month. And before you know it, Q1 of the year has passed and you haven't moved forward. And it will pass quick. So you need to look at your diary and think, it has to change. Where am I most productive? I've said I'm a morning person, so I wouldn't do focus slots at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's when I'm at my lowest. I come back to life at 4 again and I go again. But that's the worst time of day to put a focus slot in. So look at yourself, and when am I most focused, most productive? When do I do my best work? Well, that's when your focus slot needs to fit in. And let's be honest, you've said it all along, these are business owners. So they're in charge. So they can make that decision, they just haven't yet. So there's no one going to stop them if they blank out 11 till 12:30. They're the business owner. If that's their most productive time, blank that time out of your diary, get an appointment with yourself. And to start with, maybe don't do them every day. Maybe do them 3 times a week. You need to do them more than once, otherwise you won't get traction. But once you've started doing them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they become addictive, because those small segments which you think I won't get a lot done in 90 minutes, you'll be surprised if you've thought about it earlier. But once you start seeing traction and you're moving towards this goal, that, as business owners, that becomes quite addictive, because things are getting better in my company. So then you move to, I'm going to do this every day. Don't try and do it for more than 90 minutes, because there's lots of scientific research that says in the zone, human brain is best up to 90 minutes. So don't try and stack 3 and do 4.5 hours, it just doesn't work. You'll become unproductive.
That's good. So, always do it when your energy is at the highest?
Yes, definitely.
You make that decision. You can make that decision, you're the business owner.
You're in control.
And you said it right at the start. I remember you said to me, you said you might Something like you might have been in business 10 years, but if you don't change, you've had the same business for 1 year 10 times.
Lots of business owners that we speak to tell me I've been in business 10 years. Mm-hmm. But when we break down their last 10 years of, give a number of clients you had in year 1, what was your turnover? And what was your number of clients in year 2? What was your turnover? And when they start in business, they're full of energy because it's their new thing. And usually the first 3 years, there's steady increments in business. But what we tend to find is by the time you get to year 5, they have year 5 every year. They don't move forward. They do, they've got to this place, they've plateaued. And then after a few years of that, that just becomes normal and they stagnate, and that's what their business does. And the excitement wanes. But once you start doing focus slots and they say, hang on a minute, I'm moving forward again. These tiny little sections over the month becomes a big pro. I've achieved this. That becomes exciting. The adrenaline starts, and off we go again. The business starts to build.
There we go.
It's small increments each day. I liken it to climbing a mountain. No one climbs Everest in 3 steps. There's thousands of them, but hundreds of people climb it, and they climb it in these little steps. Done.
So that's focus slots.
Focus slots. They're really important, and if you don't have them in your business, there's a chance you'll stagnate, or you won't even realise what's happening, but you'll stand still. Focus slots, 90 minutes are ideal 5 days a week, but you really need at least 3. Appointments with yourself when you're at your best, and decide what you are going to work on before you go into it. Have it built in your diary, think about it for a week. It'll bounce around in your mind. Then when you sit down, you're productive. There's a poster on the back of my office door as I leave every day, and it says, today isn't finished until tomorrow is planned. And I read it every day when I leave. And I have to answer that question, or I don't walk to the car park. Is tomorrow planned? Do I know what I'm doing? So when I sit at my focus slot, I'm not sat there thinking, what am I going to do today? I've thought about it for a couple of days already, while I'm driving, while I'm making a cup of tea, while having a bath or a shower. Those things just bounce around in your mind. You sit down and it's super productive. But there must be things that will move your business forward, not its day-to-day operation. It's a focus on the business. Focus slot. Does that help?
That does help. That's good.
Winning.
So that was focus slots, guys. I hope you found that useful. As always, any questions, comment below, subscribe to the next one, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
It's an Infinity Game Changer.